Mo, obviously Liverpool today were emphatic. They blew Spurs away to lift up the title. What did you think, mate?
Yeah.
You're really asking him about Liverpool?
I know you're going to ask him about Inter.
This is your chance to cook Mo, and you're wasting it.
Yeah, I mean, you're throwing the league. We know Liverpool just won the league. You're throwing the league title away. Your internet's gone.
I was just thinking about that when you're saying the champions, and I'm like, what's throwing the
Mo's
title
gone back
away?
to the 1980s.
While Liverpool are just winning the title. But anyway, I wanted just to say something about this. A lot of people are going to say this the worst champions ever. A lot of people are going to say that Liverpool worst champions ever. The league was easy. There was no title race. They won it with 4 games. And I'm going to push back on this and say a couple of things. It's easier if you win all your games and get 97, 98 points and 100 points. Yes, there is a title race, but that means you are going to every game knowing that you're going to win. Liverpool fought hard this season. They aren't the best defense in the league. Yes, they are the best offense in the league, but they had to rely so much on Mohamed Salah to bail them out, about Van Dijk. Gravenberch is a revelation in the midfield. So the people that want to banter Liverpool and say, yeah, you won the easiest league, this is as easy as Leicester, blah, blah, blah. The Leicester league was very hard because Leicester did not blow every team out of the every team on the pitch. So for me, I'm looking at this Liverpool win and I'm saying that this is harder than what people think, right? It's not only about the title race. You look at the games against Brentford, the game against Spurs in the first leg when they won 4-3 at the death. You know, it's not like Liverpool walked this league as people want to say. I know some Liverpool fans want to say this, but you look at the majority of the games that Liverpool played, apart from today's game, they were tough games. They weren't winning the 5-1s. They didn't score 100 goals like Manchester City. They didn't go to every game dominating and winning from the first minute. It was a tough win for Liverpool. They had to work really hard for it, especially with a team that is not as deep as what people think. Mohamed Salah had to stay fit. Van Dijk had to stay fit. They had to rely on a second goalkeeper for 12 games in the season, if I'm not mistaken. That is a lot of games to rely on your second goalkeeper. Yes, Mohamed Salah was not was not injured, but also they didn't get a lot of contribution from Gakpo, Diaz, Jota, Nunes, so they had one player that they needed to rely on. It's not an easy, and if you are a rival fan and you're crying about this win for Liverpool, you don't know football, because this is not an easy win. You're going to keep saying they didn't have injuries. Other teams had injuries, but they still had to win their games. It's not their fault that people got injured, that they kept their players fit, that they rotated when they needed to rotate as well. They had the share of injuries. Trent was injured. Konate was injured. Congratulations to them. It's second league title. I'm so happy for Mohamed Salah. I get to see 2 more years of him in the Premier League. I'm so happy for him that he surpassed Kun Aguero today, the best foreigner ever in the Premier League by numbers. He is now the best player to ever play in the Premier League in terms of GA, by the way. So he is the only one in the history of the league that carried his team like this, by the way. The only people that are above him, they played in a 42 league games. They never played in the 38 league games. So he is the best player to ever play in the Premier League in one season. I'm not saying overall, in one season. He absolutely is amazing, scoring an amazing goal today. I know that he was a little bit selfish, but the haters will say he, as people say in the chat, he's stat padded. It doesn't matter. You didn't watch the older ones because you were too young. You were a kid. You were still in your mother's womb. And you didn't watch the others to say that they stat padded or not. You just watch Mohamed Salah now make greatness, and you cry about it every time before you go to sleep because he's Egyptian, because he plays for Liverpool. You don't praise him because he's your rival, but you have to admit that he is absolutely one of the greats to ever play in the Premier League now. Crowned 2 times champions of England. I am so happy for him, to be honest, for Mohamed Salah, especially because he's Egyptian, and I'm Egyptian, and I'm so proud of a guy like this going to the English football and breaking Kun Aguero's record, who had all the facilities when he was young, and Mohamed Salah came from nothing, playing in the best league in the world, scoring this amount of goal. Carrying a Liverpool team like this is not an easy job.
He used to travel 3 hours to get to football training.
It's really ridiculous when people slander someone like Mohamed Salah to talk about him in comparison with other people. Rivals fans, you just want to cry. He is one of the best players to ever play in the Premier League. Arne Slot came to this league, proved a lot of people wrong, a lot of doubters wrong, to be honest, leading the team that you thought they're not going to be even challenging, that they're going to be third or fourth. Some people went far to say that they're going to be outside of the top 5. I'm happy for Liverpool, to be honest. I'm just happy for them, to be honest, at the current moment. I'm happy for Mohamed Salah. Congratulations to them. Nothing less than what they deserve, to be honest. Nothing less than what they deserve. And just people are hating on Liverpool for no reason. The tweets are already out on the big accounts. Worst champions ever. And all this hate for no reason.
Yeah,
Bro, you just hate.
Yeah, the thing is that the worst champions ever thing is just, it's a cop-out. The reason I'm defending Liverpool is because social media wasn't particularly big back in 2013. It was big, but it isn't like it is now. And I think there's always a lot of recency bias that goes on. Sometimes it's fun to debate things and we forget things from the past, and then you get called a nostalgia merchant. But on this, there is none defending Liverpool, and it's not their fault. By the way, I think the Premier League hasn't been an entertaining season by and large, but I still think Liverpool have been very good. When Man United won it in 2013, from around January onwards, it was clear we were going to win the league because we were superior to everybody. And I remember reading so many articles. I used to listen to TalkSport religiously back then because it's the only place you could really hear footballing debate at that point, because this thing that we've created didn't exist. And one of the reasons I started this whole thing, and was one of the I was the first channel ever to do multiple teams on one platform, is I was sick and tired of the horrible narratives being pushed. So I'm not going to follow suit and do the same thing. But it was Fergie's worst champions ever. I can't believe this team are being champions of England. It's a disgrace. And I always remember saying at the time, let's just say you're right for a moment about that Fergie team wasn't very good. What do you mean it doesn't deserve to be champions if it's better than everybody else in the league that year? It almost feels, and you're going through it this year a little bit, and I think it's disingenuous. I think it's gross, and I don't like it. It's this idea of, well, because what should no one be allowed to be champions this year because you're not happy with the overall competitiveness or entertainment side of things? It's a joke. Liverpool, brilliant team this year. They've gone and got the job done. Loads of players breaking records, loads of players delivering to the highest level. It's just absolute bitterness from individuals, which, by the way, I say to them now, I know they want to have fun with it, but it will be used against your club one day if a precedent gets set. So don't fucking do it. Like, honestly, stay away from it. That's the bit that's so stupid, is if you set a precedent now with this, it will be used against your club in the future.
It will come back and bite you in the ass.
Yeah, it will. It will.
100%.
It will. 110%. So fuck those idiots. I don't like Liverpool. You know what I mean? If tomorrow morning it's announced it's being stripped because you cheated, I'd celebrate. But I'm not going to try and diminish it and take it away. Yes, not every Premier League season is the greatest Premier League season of all time. But it's like telling a boxer, well, you just won the world title, but you didn't beat someone who was as good as Muhammad Ali, so therefore you're not a real world champion. That's essentially the logic that we're putting out there. It's like telling every 100-meter sprinter who wins the Olympic gold, you didn't beat someone who was as fast as Usain Bolt, so you're shit. That's never how sports works, and I don't think football fans should diminish and damage their own sport in the pursuit of shit banter. And the media, don't turn it into real talking points, you slags.